To finish off, we've got some questions from the fans. You're pleased to hear. First of all,
Chickers.
Captain Chickers, got to be first, Anthony. Where does winning the title this season rank in your footballing career?
It'd be right up there. I've had a couple of occasions where I was fortunate enough to play. I went on a tour with one of the sides I was playing at over in Africa once, and I was very fortunate to play in a stadium with nearly 60,000 people in it. That would be up there. But certainly it was a fantastic achievement for us. First year, a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation around the football club, and I hope we've not only have we delivered what people wanted, but also delivered it playing a really good, attractive style of football.
This one's from Mick Dunwell. What was the turning point in the season, in your opinion?
I think there's been a number for me. I think certainly Chase Michael coming in early in the season gave us the legs we needed in Middle Park. Greg Anderson, big turning point in the season. The day before the Handsworth game, we were still looking for a centre half because Milne had gone over to America, so that were a big point. Jono coming in with young Connor and Tom Corner, obviously when they came in. I mean, when you think they were the only players we brought in across the course of the season in terms of changing what the squad we already had. Pickering game, like people have mentioned, was probably a big turning point for the fans. For us personally, you'd say it was a big turning point because of the 6 minutes of football. I still think them 3 games, so put the Pickering game in with the Albion Sports away and Fackley away, and then Handsworth prior to that at home. That was probably the moment we realised that we had a real chance of winning it.
Got a couple of questions from Steve Parker now. Firstly, you touched on it a minute ago. Which team / ground are you most looking forward to visiting next season?
I think all of them really. I think there's
no
some great
standouts.
Football, isn't it? No, I mean there's a couple of teams not mentioned. Burscough, they'll be in it as well. Clitheroe as well. Clitheroe, Glossop. My mate from my schooling days, Wilkie's manager at Glossop, and was when he took them to Wembley in the Vars, and then took them up through the counties, and they've sort of set their stall out. I think they'll be one of the front runners for definite next season. I think they'll be there or thereabouts for definite. They're a year older, a lot more experience at playing at that level. So I think they'll be one of the ones. I think Clitheroe have done well this year. I know I'm the chairwoman over there really, really well. Really good football club. Get a nice little fan base there as well. It's a great little non-league football ground as well. But again, another picturesque setting in a little town, so that'll be a good place to go. But Kendal, Lancaster, if you get them early in season or late on, there's a great weekend for the fans. Colwyn Bay, great weekend trip for the fans. Scarborough, there's your seaside trip again. So although we've said goodbye to Gary and Bridlington and the fancy dress day, we've still got that at Scarborough, hopefully, fingers crossed, next season.
Another one from Steve. Which result meant the most to you this season?
For me personally, probably the games against our closest rivals, the Handsworth and Worksop fixtures. Neither of them beat us in 5 attempts. And I think if you tally up the goals we scored against them, we scored 9 against Handsworth, and I think we scored 10 against Worksop. So probably them for me.
This is from Andy Charlesworth. What plans do you have to bring through any junior players to be able to play for the seniors in the future? It was a tough one.
Okay, did you not go to the cup final? No, I mean, I've said all along that if you're going to have a junior setup, if you're going to have an under-21s, you've got to have a link with them. You've got to. We've seen 4 of the lads, 5 if you include Charlie, who obviously played in goal. Coming in, I think sometimes it's easy to bring them in for 1 or 2 games, but then I think on Saturday the physicality of the game, because that's the type of game it will be next season. Cleethorpes are a good side, and could quite easily play at the next level. There's no doubt about that. So I think in terms of the future for the junior lads, as we call them, coming through, we've got some great talent at the football club, and I think we've got some plans in place for pre-season to maybe get them involved in that and just see just whereabouts they are in terms of their development. But I think it's really important that when we expose them to it, that we do it at the right time, because the problem with the level that we're going to play at is if they get it wrong, they'll be remembered for getting it wrong, and then it's a real struggle to get back into it. So I think it'll happen. I'd like to say watch this space. They're forever in our thoughts. You know, Mike and Sire, you know, they're doing a phenomenal job with the academy lads and the 21s. So, you know, we've called on them a number of... Ryan Woodhead is a great example. He's come in and out of the side all season and done his bit. And whenever he's come in, he's never ever let us down. So, you know, I would say that they're a big part of what we're doing for definite.
This one's from Chris Dixon. What are you hoping to achieve next season? Sky's the limit.
Yeah, I've not really had a chance to sit and think about it really. I think if we can get into the top 10, maybe top 8 in our first year, it'll be an unbelievable achievement. But you know, will we lose football matches in the EVOS? Yeah, we will. We will.
Fans might have to get used to losing a few games this season. It's going to be more tough.
I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. I think the team, even the teams that win it, the teams that went up. I think Salford, when they won it, they lost 7 games, and then, you know, if you go back down to Spennymoor, who finished in the last playoff position last year, not so much this year, but certainly the year I was in it, I think we lost 13 games and finished 8th when we were at Railway. You know, we won 19 games and finished 8th, and the team that got into the playoffs won 21 games. So that's how fine the margins are. You know, top 5 would be an unbelievable achievement, but you've got to look at Darlington had a couple of attempts at it, Ramsbottom had a couple of attempts at it, Kirsten Ashton, they built, you know, the backbone of their side and had a couple of attempts at it. Spennymoor, a couple of attempts. Salford are probably the most noticeable one because they went from a standing start to winning it straight away, but you know, with an influx of resources into the football club. Bamber Bridge have been there or thereabouts, Northwich Victoria have been there or thereabouts, Lancaster are well established. So, you know, we're going into a league where some of these football clubs are really, really good and really well established and very good at what they do. So I think for me personally, it's a lot will depend on, certainly I've spoke to all the squad now, so I'm aware of where we are with the squad, and then our recruitment on top of that, which I don't think we need to change much, but you know, we need to look at the squad and decide on areas that perhaps this year we didn't have enough cover for, or you have to look at the cup final. We took 5 or 6 sort of key players out of the team, and we're having to put right wingers in at right back and centre half, and we won't get away with that on a weekly basis in that league.
Ian McManus and Lee Clayton have asked similar questions. How many players are you looking to bring in, and also where do you think we need to strengthen?
Well, we've obviously started the provisional talks about where we think we need to strengthen. But that's a little bit early at this moment in time to start highlighting, you know, areas. I think, as I've said, the squad that we built I think is capable of playing at the next level. I do think we need to strengthen for definite, and the best time to strengthen any squad is when you're winning. I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer. So, because it becomes very difficult when you're getting beat, I can assure you, because players just don't want to do it. So, I think at this moment in time, them discussions are going on. It's certainly amongst the management team, and we're throwing ideas about, but that's all they are at this moment in time. They're just ideas.
Finally, from Nelly Sanderson, how many current players do you think are good enough to play week in, week out in the Evo Stick? I presume most of them.
Most of them, yeah. I don't think we've anyone who, you know, as I've documented, some of them have already done it. Some of them already played at that level. I've been consistent. You know, Baker consistently scored for us last year. Jace was captain at side. Jimmy's been phenomenal in that league at Scarborough, scoring 20 odd goals a season from midfield. So Tom Corner's been in and around that league. Greg Anderson has been in it. So they're all more than capable of playing in it. The lads that have not played in it yet, they'll soon learn. They'll soon learn. It'll be quick. It'll be ferocious. It'll be relentless. If you take your eye off the ball, then before you know it, you're out of the game. But it's going to be a great season for the football club, and as I say, you know, there's some great battles to be had, certainly across the northwest, and it's a new adventure for us. You know, you look at all the sides over there. I don't think I mentioned Radcliffe Borough yet. There, another great side in that, and have kept themselves in and around that sort of level of football for a long time now, and they know how to do it. they know how to keep themselves in it. What we've got to do is, as new boys, we've just got to make sure we get off to the right start.
Finally, looking at the ground developments at the Ayr Stadium, I've heard plans this week that the stadium, the new stand is very big. So, what better time to come down and start supporting Teddy Albion?
I think final mention must go out to the support that clubs received across this. You know, fans come to every game expecting you to win. I get that, you know, and I have no problem with that whatsoever, and they should do. You know, people work really, really hard all week, and football is brilliant at bringing communities together and bringing people from every level of society together and putting them into an environment where, you know, they can have a good time. And so I expect, you know, fans to come and expect us to win. I've absolutely no problem with that. Obviously the owners and the staff, we're a little bit more grounded and a bit more realistic in terms of what we want, but you know, this season they've helped get us across the line. They've helped sort of maintain our sanity at times, because there is times when you think, am I doing the right thing here? You know, and certainly from after Christmas, and Pickering away was phenomenal, Bridlington away was phenomenal. A little bit more tenser at home, it's been a little bit more tense, but I suppose that's because of where the club's been in the past. The away following has been absolutely outstanding. And match that by the 500-600 that have been coming into the ground the back end of the season, and I think someone said the other day that if you look at the North Ferriby story, in a town of 3,500 people, and Tadcaster's got over 6,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's got a great community spirit, it's got a great feel to it, it's got a great resilience born out of some of the tragedies over the last year. And what I'd say is, you know, get your engines revved up and get your car serviced and come and enjoy the journey with us.
Thank you very much for your time, Billy. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.